Thank you for joining us at the IoT Asia Plus. Warm welcome once again. COVID-19 has highlighted the importance of digital solutions, especially the massive adoption of new technologies quickly. The pandemic has thrown up many uncertainties and issues. It has also changed the way we live, learn, work, and play. The word connected has become way more relevant than ever before. We have leapfrogged 5 to 7 years in the adoption of IoT. This is driven by the fact that on the one side, businesses are transforming themselves to be more efficient and resilient. And on the other side, their end customer behaviors are changing. By some estimates, the number of connected devices globally will double in 2030 compared to 2020, up to 50 billion devices. That's massive. Though the pandemic accelerated the growth, the signals indicates that this growth will be sustained for many years to come. Today, I will delve deep into some of these factors that are driving this growth. So, massive growth in IoT-enabled digitalization is being fueled by few disruptions that are happening around us. I'd like to summarize the group and group them into few buckets. Number one, mobility. The way people commute, whether it is a personal transport or a public transport. And an increased importance given to personal health, well-being, and fitness. Third one is skilled worker shortage across countries. Fourth one, work from anywhere and operate from anywhere. Fifth driver, efficiency of buildings and spaces. So increasingly, real estate operators have to look at reduction of cost and improving the efficiency. Sixth one, sustainability and food security. Seventh one is the track and trace. Eighth, new ways of working. Ninth, logistics and supply chain disruptions. So all these factors coming together has actually accelerated the growth at which IoT solutions are being adopted in the market. Let me start with mobility. There is a major shift in personal and public transport trends. Intent to buy cars has raised significantly and exceeded pre-pandemic levels in recent months. Demand for electric vehicle is growing. Increasing fuel price will accelerate that. Customers are expecting car to be connected and have a similar infotainment experience as they expect in their smartphones. So some of the use cases where IoT is playing a major role are listed here. The connected electric vehicles, EV charging network, the whole infrastructure required for EV charging has to be connected, managed, and operated. So IoT and sensors plays major role there. Autonomous mobility and drones. Then moving to personal health and fitness. Most of us have bought, if not many, at least one product, be it fitness tracker, connected gym equipment, indoor bike trainers, all of these. Pandemic has made all of us to be conscious about health, well-being, and fitness. Similarly, healthcare providers implementing all possible types of solutions to cope up with the surge in healthcare requirements. By an estimate, connected fitness equipment market by 2025 will be a $11 billion in size. Some examples I would like to quote are connected gym equipment, smart jump ropes, smart weight scales, smart watches, connected medical devices, and insurance players working on models pay as you live, connecting your smart fitness devices to the insurance premiums. And living loyalty is another aspect where you earn loyalty points based on the way you live and how fit you are. So from health and well-being, I'm moving towards more about the skilled worker shortage and issues that we face today. So this was previously only for developed countries. It was an issue, but skilled worker shortage is affecting the countries across globe now. Countries who are dependent on foreign labor suffered due to visa and travel restrictions. while countries with abundant manpower suffered due to reverse migration phenomenon, where people to move away from cities. This has led companies to have a longer term strategy in remote operations, automation, and autonomous operations. So this has led adoption of solutions involve robotics, automation, human machine augmentation, and connected facilities and connected operations. Another big phenomenon is work from anywhere. We have all done this during circuit breakers or lockdowns. While work from anywhere has become a norm for people who work in administration office settings, but this is also extending to a larger operations related, such as mining, oil and gas companies as well, where companies are looking at managing their operations centrally, remotely, and from anywhere. This has led to the growth in demand for connected technologies, be it personal equipment, AR, VR devices. Some of the use cases are virtual reality based inspections, site inspections, augmented reality, remote operations. In last few months, I have been doing many site visits. Previously, we used to go to the location and see the factories floors, shop floors, talk to people. We are doing it with the virtual tools, and we are doing it completely virtually, and it is proven to be very effective. So another aspect, the spaces and buildings has to be are primarily should be operated very, very efficiently because of the way we work and preferences of people going to office has changed. So the real estate operators are under tremendous pressure to optimize their operations. Office spaces, shopping malls, entertainment venues, all of them have major cost pressures and a long road for profitability. So this is driving new type of solutions, a lot of innovation in that space. Smart building, which is known for everybody. Increasingly, the remote facility operations. Instead of having a facility operator at each building, you have one centralized way of operating all your facilities and buildings. Video analytics for security use cases, condition monitoring, maintenance optimization, and you will see many places, a lot of kiosks popping up. Sustainability and food security is another big topic. I think I would say this is one of the big topic of this decade. While technology alone is not sufficient to achieve this, IoT technology plays a major role in measurement, benchmarking, controlling, and tracking the progress of where we are in terms of sustainability and food security. Whether it is indoor vertical farms, aquaculture, solar farms, wind farms, energy transition projects, or energy efficiency projects, IoT plays a major role. You need devices, sensors, equipment to track, monitor, control all these aspects. The track and trace is another area where we see a lot of traction. Need for track and trace is not new. This has been around for many years. However, there is a sudden surge of tracking and tracing, whether it is tracing the source of the authenticity of the product we purchase, or be it tracking our daily deliveries in real time. Tracing has also been significantly helpful in containment of pandemic in early stages of the spread. So some examples are contract tracing, which we all of us are familiar with, shipment tracking, asset tracking, workers tracking, connected vehicles, some examples to highlight. So new ways of shopping is another area. Shopping behavior and means of shopping has changed significantly and forming a new habit. This has made physical and online retailers to think their technology strategy for next 5 years. Some use cases that we see is stock management, shopper analytics, smarter shelves, beacons, and loss prevention. Last but not the least, logistics and supply chain. We all know how disrupted this sector was. Supply chain is not fully recovered yet from the impact. Bottlenecks that were never surfaced before in logistics and supply chain started to surface, which require new ways of solving, and IoT solutions are significantly helping here. So warehouse management, last mile delivery management, inventory management are some examples to highlight. Okay, so with all these solutions and multiple use cases that we have seen that are in real life today when you talk about IoT solutions and how these solutions are coming together. One thing that we see increasingly in last 2 to 3 years, it is increasingly becoming an ecosystem play rather than one vendor or one solution provider trying to do everything. So I would like to put a architecture for this ecosystem, right? So it is enabled by different players. So at the bottommost layer, we have technology enablers, be it device manufacturers or edge OEMs, networks and communication providers, telcos or LoRa, Sigfox type of connectivity providers, and platforms, IoT platforms, GIS, video analytics, digital twin platforms. So then these are very horizontal type of enablers. Then when you come to industry specific, there are industry specific solutions. I call them as industry enablers. I have given 4 examples here: healthcare, transport and logistics, real estate, and retail, which is aligned to our theme of IoT Asia Plus. But there could be many such industry segments, but each of them will have their own workflows, business processes that are digitized in a platform view. Then on top of these industry enablers, we will have actual use cases. As the use cases I have mentioned across different scenarios in my previous section of the presentation. So all will come on top, and it also enables different developers to develop new use cases on top of this platform or a construct of ecosystem. Then we have users. So users for IoT solutions could be varied levels, right? All the way from CXOs, engineers, operators at the field, and IT, and your contractors, data scientists. These are all different types of user groups that will access IoT solutions. And most important, on the right side, you see which are ecosystem enablers, whether it is associations, trade associations like Singapore Industrial Automation Associations, or the consulting partners or regulatory bodies like IMDA, those who are bringing everyone together in this ecosystem and enabling to deploy IoT solutions at a faster pace by having regulatory standards, industry collaborations, and knowledge sharing. So all these players coming together is where IoT is heading to. So the scaling of IoT depends on these ecosystem players. So some of the future growth enablers. So you will see a lot of use cases that are coming up based on digital thread and digital twin. And digital twin is going to significantly drive the adoption of IoT in coming days, because digital twin has a clear advantage and business case to be implemented in large enterprises. Similarly, edge computing and analytics, the workload, which we call phenomenon of shifting left, the workload going towards more to the edge, and analytics happening at the edge is another area of focus, which is fueling the growth. The 5G, all of us know there are a lot of new use cases coming up because of 5G connectivity, the ability to transfer data quickly. And another big aspect, and one of my favorite, is open source and open ecosystem. So open source, there are a lot of solutions that are available open source. You need not build everything or reinvent the whole wheel. Open source community has done a lot of things on IoT, whether it is Linux Foundation, Eclipse, or Apache. So you'll find IoT projects, edge standards, edge templates available within the open source community. So the open source ecosystem is all the ecosystem players coming together with the open mind, collaboration, and having good partnership among all of them. So that is another enabler I see that is driving the growth going forward. With last, I would like to leave with some food for thought for our remaining 2 days of IoT Asia. So there are some challenges, right, as we scale, and those challenges also bring new opportunities. Operational technology and IoT security is one big area. So there are a lot of standards coming up. Singapore is forefront of it. CSA has come up with technical references for IoT and OT security. But there is a lot more to be done from the software providers, device providers. How do we protect IoT right from the chip level all the way to the application level? Then the DevSecOps for devices and things. So DevSecOps, when we say DevSecOps, we relate to more towards software and IT, but it also is applicable to IoT. How do you do DevSecOps for your Internet of Things devices and edge devices? So power constraint and battery technology, the growth in this area, the changes that are happening in this area, because IoT devices very often need to be power constrained and it has to operate in a low power setup. So new battery technologies and charging technologies opens up new areas for innovation and collaborations. The chip shortage and supply chain constraint, we know the automotive plants have been shut down due to chip shortage and supply chain constraints. So how this opens up for academia researchers in this field? How do we compress our footprint of chips into a single chips, SoCs, a single chip on a single chip based computers where you bring all your components into one chip. So I think a lot to be done in this area. This is another area I see a lot of challenges that is there, and there are opportunity to address them. With that thought, I will say thank you and enjoy rest of your time with IoT Asia Plus. Thank you.